Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Akansha, Senior Lecturer in the Periodontology Department in College of Dental Sciences, BBD University. Today's lecture is on anti-infective therapy. Introduction. The microbial etiology of inflammatory periodontal diseases provides the rationale for the use of antimicrobial medication in periodontal therapy. As evidence for bacterial specificity in periodontitis has accumulated and strengthened over the past 3 decades, dentists have increased their use of antibiotics in periodontal therapy. Now, coming to the chemotherapeutic agents, it is a general term for a chemical substance that provides a clinical therapeutic benefit. What is anti-infective agent? It also is a chemotherapeutic agent that works by reducing the number of bacteria present. Antibiotic. It is a naturally occurring semi-synthetic or synthetic type of anti-infective agent that destroys or inhibits the growth of selective microorganisms generally at low concentrations. Antiseptic is a chemical antimicrobial agent applied topically or subgingivally to mucous membrane, wounds, or intact dermal surfaces to destroy microorganisms and inhibit their reproduction or metabolism. Now, coming to the indications for antibiotic therapy in periodontal patients. First is patients who do not respond to conventional periodontal therapy. Second is refractory periodontitis patients, patients with acute periodontal infections like abscesses with systemic manifestations, prophylaxis in medically compromised patient as an adjunct to non-surgical periodontal therapy, aggressive periodontitis, and necrotizing ulcerative periodontitis or necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis with systemic symptoms. Now, administration of antibiotics. How can we administer it to the patients? There are mainly two routes are there. First is systemic administration and the second is local administration. What are the advantages of systemic administration? First is it is a simple, easy administration of drug to multiple sites of disease activity. It eliminate or reduce pathogens on oral mucosa and extradental sites. Its disadvantages are its inability to achieve high GCF concentration, increased risk of adverse drug reactions, increased selection of multiple antibiotic resistant microorganisms, and uncertain patient compliance. What is local administration and what are their advantages? First is it's less quantity of drug required, can attain higher concentrations of an antimicrobial agent in subgingival sites, no potential danger of resistant strains and superimposed infections, and there is no dependence on patient compliance. Some disadvantages are also present in local administration cases. First is difficulty in placing into deeper parts of periodontal pockets and furcation lesions, and reinfection from non-treated sites are common. Now there are 8 principal antibiotic groups have been extensively evaluated for the treatment of periodontal diseases. First is tetracycline, minocycline, doxycycline, erythromycin, clindamycin, ciprofloxacin, amoxicillin, and metronidazole. These are the regimen which have to given to the patient for periodontal therapy. First is amoxicillin, 500 mg 3 times daily for 8 days, azithromycin, 500 mg once daily for 4 to 7 days, ciprofloxacin, 500 mg twice daily for 8 days, clindamycin, 300 mg 3 times daily for 10 days. Tetracycline. It produced naturally from certain species of Streptomyces or derived semi-synthetically, was patented in 1953 and came into commercial use in 1978. It's a broad spectrum antibiotic action, means it active against aerobic as well as anaerobic organism, gram positive as well as gram negative organism. It's a bacteriostatic drug. Concentration in the gingival crevice is 2 to 10 times than in serum, and it possesses a unique non-antibacterial characteristics, collagenase inhibition, anti-inflammatory effect, inhibition of microbial attachment, and root surface conditioning. Its clinical use are it can be used as an adjunct in the treatment of localized aggressive periodontitis, arrest bone loss, and suppress Actinobacillus actinomycetum comitans level in conjunction with scaling and root planing. It can also be used in root biomodification procedures. Common side effects are it can discolor permanent teeth, cause skin photosensitivity, cause tinnitus, white patches or sores in mouth or on lips. Cautions. It affects bone growth of the fetus, so should be avoided during pregnancy. Be inactivated by calcium ions, so are not to be taken with milk. Be inactivated by aluminum, iron, and zinc ions, so should not be taken at the same time as indigestion remedies. Next is metronidazole. It's a synthetic nitronidazole compound with bactericidal effects. Its spectrum of activity for Fusobacterium and Salmonella infections. It's the best candidate for Streptococcus infections, and it's a reasonable candidate for P. gingivalis, P. intermedia, and C. rectus infections. It's a poor choice for A. actinomycetum comitans and E. corrodens infection. It's a bactericidal drug. Common side effects are nausea, metallic taste, loss of appetite, and headaches. And some cautions are also there. First, it should not consume with alcohol because it can cause a disulfiram-like reactions with effects that can include nausea, vomiting, flushing of the skin, tachycardia, and shortness of breath. Its mode of action, it's act by inhibiting DNA synthesis, and its uses are it can be used in treating acute necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis, chronic periodontitis, and aggressive periodontitis. As monotherapy, metronidazole is inferior, should be used in combination with root planing surgery or with other antibiotics. Studies indicate that more than 60% of adult periodontitis patients sampled harbored periodontal plaque that exhibited beta-lactamase activity. Amoxicillin clavulinate, also called augmentin, is a generally accepted strategy to administer amoxicillin with an inhibitor of beta-lactamase such as clavulanic acid. Therapeutic uses of systemic antimicrobial agent for various periodontal diseases are given in this chart. Antibiotic use is not recommended in gingival disease. Necrotizing ulcerative gingivitis patients, antibiotic use is not recommended unless there are systemic complications. In chronic periodontitis patients, antibiotic use is not recommended. In aggressive periodontitis patients, antibiotic use recommended for greatest benefit. Now, coming to the conclusion. The slight additional benefit of adjunctive antimicrobials, which have been shown for moderate forms of periodontitis, have to be balanced against their side effects, and therefore their prescription should be limited as much as possible. The patient's overall risk for periodontitis must be considered, and exceptions that may indicate antibiotic treatments include cases of early onset disease if the periodontal infection needs to be rapidly suppressed, localized deep sites with persistent or recurrent disease, and patient with uncontrolled diabetes. Thank you.